how to seduce each of the Venus signs and how they'll try to be attractive if they're into you, like how they'll try to attract you. Venus also shows what makes us attractive, what gives us value naturally in our charts. So it's like a natural gift or beauty about us, or something that's attractive. So let's start with Venus in Aries. So if you want to seduce a Venus in Aries, which is quite a physical sign, it's a self-centered sign, and it's a sign of being direct and upfront. It's about going for a cause like aggressively and like directly, not sugarcoating things. So if she has Venus in Aries, and even as a male, like if you have this placement, this is going to apply too. And I'm just going to refer to each placement as she, because Venus just represents our divine feminine energy. And so as a male, like if you're watching this, I don't want you to get thrown off by that. I'm just referring to your divine feminine, which is based on Venus. This is the side of us that attracts things or that's attractive. And furthermore, if you're a female and you're watching this, then I'll just be, when I say she, I'm referring to you or to like some other girl, like, because you guys are ruled by Venus and by the divine feminine, so you guys have majority of that energy. But with that being said, if Venus is in Aries, which is all about being direct and having a physical approach or a non-sugar-coated approach, how you seduce a Venus in Aries is just by being direct and upfront in your approach and direct with your attraction. Venus in Aries doesn't like secrets or doesn't like to guess. So also Venus in Aries is quite a sexual placement for Venus because Aries is ruled by Mars. So that they're really receptive to a direct and passionate approach. Next, Venus in Taurus. So if she has Venus in Taurus, how you seduce her, make her attracted, is by valuing her or doing actions that show that you value her. Because Venus in Taurus, self-esteem comes from how valued they feel, because Taurus is the sign of value. So this could be about buying gifts, spending money on her, investing money into your relationship with her. Anything like that will actually turn her on or make her attracted, make her intrigued, because Venus is in the sign of value. And Venus and Taurus really like gifts as well. And Taurus is just a very material, earthy sign. So any practical and material gestures will be well received. And how Venus in Taurus will try to attract someone that they like is by being of value to that person or trying to demonstrate their worth or their value. These women can play hard to get because they can be more closed off, but they just have a aura of wanting to be of value. They almost want to be like a resource to you, because Taurus is all about resources. And so they actually like to be used, especially in practical ways. And they'll try to show you that they can be an asset to you. That's how Venus and Taurus is going to be when they try to attract somebody. Next, we're going to be talking about Venus in Gemini. Venus in Gemini, how to seduce Venus in Gemini is by conversation and knowing how to chat well and intriguing her social interest, even just about mundane topics, just being somebody that is interesting to talk to. will make Venus in Gemini very attracted. And especially if you throw in flirtatious comments as well, that's a good way of pursuing them or intriguing them, because Gemini is all about circumstance, and it could be about flirtation, and like it could be about considering things, like it could be about hints, questions. That's what Gemini and the third house are about. It's about our mind. It's about questions. So if you can stimulate her mind, this will seduce a Venus in Gemini woman. And how Venus in Gemini will try to attract somebody or try to be attractive, if they like somebody, is they'll try to demonstrate their social charm. And likely also there would be an element of flirtation too, that they try to use basically to attract somebody if they like them. And that's because Gemini is all about communication, and it's all about interaction. And generally speaking, a Venus in Gemini person, since Gemini is a masculine sign, since it's an air sign, same with all the fire signs, which are the other masculine element, this shows somebody that when she's attracted, like she'll actually like start a conversation with you. She won't just wait necessarily for you to make a move. Like she might start an innocent conversation. Now the other thing is she could just get in a situation where it's easy for you to start a conversation with each other, But that's how she tries to attract you, is either through her social skills, her charm, or it's like through conversation and just interacting, and letting you just naturally be attracted. So with that being said, that leads us to Venus in Cancer. So how you seduce a Venus in Cancer is by how you make them feel. Because Venus in Cancer has a passion and a desire for security, comfort, and emotional fulfillment. So if you can pursue them in a way that demonstrates your ability to fulfill her needs and to be an emotional fulfillment, and even if you can take it a step further and demonstrate how you can be more than what she ever wanted or needed on an emotional level, like, providing things that she didn't think of, that's gonna attract a Venus in Cancer, or like seduce a Venus in Cancer. And Cancer is just the sign of emotions, generally speaking, and it's about security. So if you can appear as like a safe option, it's gonna like somebody secure, like not somebody that's fickle or all over the place, or somebody that's like trying to get in her pants, like, and like not have anything, like not demonstrate anything more than that. Like she's gonna be more closed off. Cancer is the crab, and Cancer is the sign of privacy and security and whatnot. So they're more reluctant to be vulnerable with their femininity, especially with people that don't provide an aura of like comfort or security. However, some people, some men may have like a natural aura that's like comforting, like fatherly or secure, and Venus in Cancer can fall for those men. Like even if they're not like the most actually dependable or secure options, but they just like the way that you make them feel. So if your approach can stimulate a strong emotional reaction, that's going to intrigue a Venus in Cancer. Even if it's a negative one at first, or like a shocking one at first, if you show that you are bold and unashamed in your approach, and you make her feel a strong way, that's going to trigger her Venus energy. Because Venus just likes to react. Venus likes to be entertained. And Venus in Cancer gets entertained through the emotions. Now, how Venus in Cancer will try to attract somebody if they like somebody, or how they try to be attractive in general, is by being comforting, like nurturing others, and like providing emotional fulfillment, like really being loving. It's like a deeply loving placement for like Venus. Is really caring, and it can be a little bit service oriented too. It could be about doing things like cooking stuff for people, like baking things for somebody. Like they have like kind gestures, like heartfelt gestures that are heartwarming, and like it can be quite a romantic sign, but it's like more of like a romantic placement, I mean, but it's more of like a homely and like comforting vibe. And like it gives you that long-term romance feeling. Like you start like they'll try to demonstrate their options as a long-term their viability as a long-term option type stuff. Anyway, it really, like Venus in Cancer gives like really housewife vibes, like as cliche or as non socially acceptable as that sounds, but that like they'll try to show that traits, like that they can do that even if they are like very business oriented and successful on their own. Like that's just their love style or how they try to make you think of them. But next, that leads us to Venus in Leo. So if you want to seduce Venus in Leo, you have to entertain her, because Leo is all about the things that stand out. It's also about demonstrating confidence, and it's all about self-expression and commanding attention. So Venus and Leo, generally speaking, they like things that stand out. They like luxuries. They like flashy clothes. Like they like to wear those things. Like, because Venus is about what makes us attractive, and it's the things that we value, and it's where our self-esteem comes from. And Venus and Leo, they like to have somebody that they can be proud of. So somebody that's confident and proud of themselves is very attractive to Leo, especially to Venus and Leo, especially if it's demonstrated through their approach. And, people that are bold and that try to demonstrate their capabilities to Venus and Leo are quite seductive to them. So if you try to demonstrate your viability to them in like a dramatic and outgoing way, like in like an entertaining way, then they will be attracted. They will be intrigued. Now, also, Leo's about showering somebody with attention and flattery. So Venus and Leo are very susceptible to flattery. Like that's another way that you can basically intrigue her and like open her up to you if she has Venus and Leo. Now, how Venus and Leo tries to be attractive is by standing out. So if Venus and Leo is trying to seduce somebody and attract them, she will wear flashy clothes. Like she will get attention, like to what makes her sexy or what makes her like valuable. She'll try to demonstrate her femininity. That's what it really means. And so these can be like real showstoppers. Like these can be people, like women that attract a lot of attention if they want to. And if they're into somebody, they'll really try to like capture your attention through bright colors, bright clothes, like, or like a way of dressing that's stylish or luxurious or that demonstrates, quality or royalty or something like this. Because Leo can be about royalty and anyway. The last thing is that Venus and Leo can, if they're attracted to somebody, like, they'll try to get your attention, really. So that's Venus and Leo. Next, we have Venus in Virgo. So if she has Venus in Virgo, what she's attracted to is practicality, competence, and cleanliness, organization. She's attracted to somebody that's put together, somebody that's adaptable and clever. And how you seduce a Venus in Virgo person is by making them comfortable talking. Like Venus and like Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so Venus and Virgo is about conversation to a certain extent, but Virgo is more so about important facts. It's like about specifics, and it's about like interrogation. It can be about also, so like it can also be about like psychology as well. And so I'm not saying to interrogate her, but you can basically, if you can have like a good conversation, like if you can hold a conversation, if you have conversation skills, that's going to be attractive to a Venus and Virgo person. And if you can ask good questions, show interest, and like ask the type of questions basically where I'm sure you guys have like talked to people like this, where it's like easy to answer the questions, and like where the questions flow well into each other, and where, you know, you actually want to answer the questions, you know, because they're asking good questions about yourself and your interests and whatnot. So something about Virgo people is that they're good at receiving information. Like they're good at making people comfortable and open up talking to them. So they're a pleasure to have a conversation with. And Venus in Virgo is attracted to somebody like that, where it's like easy to talk to them because their conversation is not awkward, and it like has some sort of like practical structure or like sense to the person, and like, you know, to what they're asking, and like essentially where the person is actually genuinely curious about her and about her psychology, you know, and about the things that interest her. You know, it's about asking, you know, practical and relevant topics. So that's how you really seduce a Venus in Virgos, is also by conversation, but more specifically by having the gift of being able to make others open up and talk to you willingly. Like that's Venus and Virgo. If you were like that to her, like she'll be extra attracted, like, and very intrigued. Especially if you have an element of flirtation to your approach, where you show interest in subtle ways. Because Venus in Virgo is all about paying attention to details. So how Venus in Virgo tries to attract others or appear attractive or of value is by being of service to you. And Venus is debilitated in Virgo because Virgo is the opposite of Pisces. Pisces is the exaltation of Venus. And Pisces is all about being vulnerable, idealistic, romanticized, etc. Whereas Venus and Virgo, they're really practical. They can be a little bit more realistic about love, more pessimistic about love. And they can have like a down to earth and like practical point of view of things that refuses to romanticize things. And the other thing about Virgo is that it's about service, and a trait of Virgo is being taken for granted a lot. So with Venus and Virgo, her way of trying to attract somebody can sometimes be taken for granted or not noticed, because how she tries to do it is by being of service, by serving the person in practical manners or practical ways. And the next thing about Venus and Virgo that makes it debilitated is that Virgo is an earth sign. Earth signs are not vulnerable. Like earth signs, they're more practical. And Pisces, the opposite of Virgo, is like the most vulnerable sign. And like Virgo is a more skeptical and paranoid, obsessive, or like perfectionistic sign. So they can have a hard time with the concept of being vulnerable. So in love, Venus and Virgo can be a little bit more skeptical or closed off. They can be a little bit more like observant and like sometimes distant or jaded or like, closed off, and they don't believe like in love at first sight a lot of times, or like they don't believe in romanticized concepts. They want to see practical evidence, and sometimes, that can debilitate Venus. But with that being said, I hope that extra tangent and that extra lesson on Virgo Venus was insightful. But what we were saying is that how they try to attract you is through practical service and practical ways, which a lot of times can be taken for granted because those are not seen as romantic indicators. Like, people don't understand that this is their love language, and they might overlook this person's attempt to be of use or of value to them. So that is Venus and Virgo. So next, this takes us to Venus in Libra. How you seduce Venus in Libra is by being relatable and charming and having social grace, because Libra and the 7th house are about charm. It's always about having a good response to things. So like, ironically, with Venus in Libra, how you attract her is by, having a good response to the things that she says that shows interest. So basically, if you can literally frame it like she's pursuing you, but like in a flirtatious way, that's an example of something that would interest like or intrigue a Venus and Libra, because it demonstrates social competence. So like, if you have a good response to the things that she says, and it's like showing interest, and it's like flirtatious a little bit, and it's like good conversation skills, that's gonna attract Venus and Libra, because they have a love of relatability. The 7th house and the sign Libra is about being relatable, and what makes her attractive is her own charm and her own relatability, and also how she tries to attract others, which is the next part of this section, is that she would try to be relatable to you, or like relate to you. Like, everything that you say, she would try to give her own like perspective on it, or like she would try to relate to it in the ways that she can, and that's what Libra is all about. It's about being relatable to others. It's about being like cultured, balanced, etc. And finally, Libra can be about being of help to others. So they might try to partner up with you or like be of service in a way. And that's because Libra is very close to the sign Virgo, which is about service. So that is Venus in Libra. If she has Venus in Scorpio, how to seduce a Venus in Scorpio is by desiring them. Venus in Scorpio, or the 8th house, love to be desired. And this is a very sexual placement for Venus. And technically Venus is in fall when it's in Scorpio or something, because it's in domicile in Taurus. Taurus is all about valuing oneself. It's all about self-esteem, self-worth. It can be about being a little bit bougie or closed off or hard to get. A lot of times Venus and Taurus can be hard to get, but that's a way that they be attractive as well. But Venus and Scorpio, their value, their self-esteem comes from how valued they feel by others, how desirable they feel, how much other people desire them. So somebody that desires, that shows like their desire for the Venus in Scorpio, is going to intrigue them, especially somebody that shows passion and desire and like in a vulnerable way, in a somewhat vulnerable way. Like, if you can just show her that your desire for her, like that'll actually be her weakness. Like, that's going to make her into you. You know, she's weak for that. And so Venus and Scorpio, like, they're very easily like attracted or activated, you know. And that's because Scorpio is like a sexual sign. And, you know, simply by being desired or by being needed, especially like, but if you need her, especially for like practical reasons, and if you guys are like bonded together for like financial or some sort of reasons, and you know how to like appeal to her psychology and stuff like this, and also demonstrate your need for her, like that like makes her attracted, even if like it could be for negative, you know, reasons, or like even if like she may not show that on the surface, you know. Because Scorpio can be about toxic situations, and like it could be about negativity. And a lot of times Venus and Scorpio are comfortable in those scenarios, even though they're not like the best, you know. And anyway, Scorpio is like a very real sign, you know. It's a very unashamed, uninhibited sign, like, and situations of need can be revolving around like dangerous topics, unpleasant topics, you know, things like toxic situations, you know, like that. So Venus and Scorpio just loves to be needed, though. So if you need them, like, that will activate their Venus energy, that will intrigue her. So anyway, that's Venus and Scorpio. The next sign is Sagittarius. So if you have Venus in Sagittarius, or if she has Venus in Sagittarius, how you intrigue her is by being an experience, you know, being somebody that can take her new places, or expand her mind through her interactions with you, and like can satisfy her quench her thirst for knowledge or for philosophy, faith, you know, and culture. Sagittarius and the ninth house are all about knowledge, wisdom, experiences. And it's all about the search for the truth. It's also about an adventure. So if you can be somebody that is like capable of providing those things, then that's what's going to seduce or attract her. And Venus in Sagittarius is the most carefree placement for Venus, because Sagittarius is the most carefree sign. They have Cancer in the 8th house. So Venus in Sagittarius are very receptive to a carefree and bold approach. You know, if you just take a risk and be confident and just talk to her and show your interest, that would be attractive to a Venus in Sagittarius, because it's demonstrating someone that's a risk taker and that thinks on the spot and that acts on a whim. And that's like an attractive trait to Venus and Sagittarius, because they like experiences, they like adventure. So if they perceive somebody that is adventurous, that's really attractive to them. So also, Venus and Sagittarius can be quite carefree with their femininity. They can show it off or be generous with it, you know, and like that's because Sagittarius is very close to the sign Scorpio. Scorpio Venus is a very sexual placement, and just simply being desired is enough to attract a Venus in Scorpio, because their worth, their value, their self-esteem comes from how desirable they feel towards others. So even from being desired for like low reasons, or like for not deep reasons, like that's seductive to a Venus in Scorpio. But Sagittarius is right next to Scorpio, and it just also shows women that a carefree approach can sometimes be attractive to them, and they're very carefree with their femininity, you know. They like freedom when it comes to their femininity. and they believe in female freedom. Like, these are the type of people that have Venus in Sagittarius. So with that being said, that's Venus in Sagittarius. How Venus in Sagittarius will try to attract you is through being carefree with her femininity, through being upfront, or like through sometimes even taking a risk and pursuing you, like, and trying to start a conversation, or like something risk takey. So like that's because Sagittarius is about taking risks. But that concludes Venus in Sagittarius. The next sign is Capricorn. So if she has Venus in Capricorn, how to seduce her is by having your shit together and appearing as a practical asset to her ambitions. And Venus and Capricorn people, they romanticize success. They will be attracted or intrigued by somebody that they can perceive a successful life with. So somebody that is an asset towards their ambitions, or where both of you guys share similar ambitions. Like Venus in Capricorn really values success, achievement, and they really value their goals, their ambitions. And so somebody that demonstrates those traits of being an asset to their goals will be a subject of their fantasies and like the things that they romanticize for the long term. Like they can imagine a really long-term stable relationship with this person, or like a very successful relationship. But generally speaking, like you want to demonstrate that you do things that matter to Venus in Capricorn. And you want to demonstrate all the things that you have done that mattered, and like demonstrate, your ambition, and like demonstrate the things that you're ambitious about. And that's going to be seductive to a Venus in Capricorn. Especially if they can envision how you become like an asset in their life, and how they can become an asset for you. Now, Venus in Capricorn, how they try to attract others, seduce others, is through their image, like through their public image, their social media, etc., by demonstrating perhaps their success, but also just by demonstrating the image that they want to be seen as in a public sense, because Capricorn is about our public image. Furthermore, Capricorn is about success, and it's about being a provider. So Venus in Capricorn, like, if they're attracted to somebody, they'll try to demonstrate their ability to provide for them. And they'll spend their money on that person. They will take care of that person in practical ways. And I guess they just have this inviting energy of like success, of, building stability together. And that's something they'll try to demonstrate to give themselves value, is their ability to like be successful, and the ways that they already have been as well. So that's Venus being in Capricorn. If she has Venus in Aquarius, how you attract or seduce her is by being somebody that she wants to participate with, and somebody whose life that she wants to be a part of. Because Aquarius is all about groups, it's all about the things that we're part of, and it's all about our individuality. So by demonstrating your individuality and your unique interests, and having similar interests, that's going to be intriguing to a Venus in Aquarius. And Venus in Aquarius is attracted to unconventional types, like to people that are unique and people that are confident in their individuality. Venus in Aquarius may also be attracted to friends. And She wants her lover to be her best friend, somebody that she can conversate with on an equal level and on like entertaining level, like somebody that she can really call like a friend. So in a way, with Venus and Aquarius, you have to be like relatable to them to be of interest. And furthermore, like Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, which is shocking, unconventional, and rebellious. So there could be something shocking or unconventional about your approach that could attract her. You know, don't be afraid to take a risk. Venus and Aquarius people like excitement. They like change. They like non-convention. So they're really open-minded and friendly people and like non-judgmental. Because Aquarius is very futuristic and progressive. So as opposed to maybe another placement of Venus and like some other negative aspects that somebody could have in their chart, somebody with Venus and Aquarius will not be judgmental of your approach. They'll just be more intrigued by it. And if anything, if they don't like your approach, they're just going to be friendly and brush it off, you know? But they're very smiley people. They like to be of service. They have a love for humanity and like humanitarian goals and progress. And they love to participate in something. So if you want to attract a Venus in Aquarius, like be somebody that they want to participate in your life because your life is so connected or so like interesting, you know? The more like connections that you have, like the network that you have, the things that you're a part of, the events that you're doing or a part of, like that's going to be intriguing or attractive to Venus in Aquarius. And how Venus in Aquarius will try to attract others is by being unique and being vulnerable with their individuality, you know, and also by being like a friend. So it's a little bit of an unconventional placement for Venus. And anyway, that's Venus in Aquarius. So finally, this leads us to Venus in Pisces. If you want to seduce a Venus in Pisces, you have to trigger her imagination and her fantasies. Venus in Pisces is a very romantic placement. In fact, Venus is exalted here because Pisces is all about optimism, idealism, fantasy, imagination. So Venus and Pisces is a water sign, which is about emotion. So Venus in Pisces is full of emotion. It's full of passionate romance. And like they'll really idealize their partner or idealize relationships and love when they are in love. And this, you know, manifests more love within the relationships, you know. And also Venus in Pisces can be quite self-sacrificing people. They're very compassionate. So Venus is very kind in Pisces. But what attracts them or like what they're seduced by is their fantasies or like their ability to fantasize or their imagination. So anybody that intrigues their imagination or causes them to fantasize or ask questions and wonder about what's more, like that's going to attract Venus in Pisces. In other words, a lot of times they just like attract themselves to people like based on their own fantasies and stuff like this. But Pisces can be about hiding things. It can be about projecting an illusion or like an image. So a lot of times when Venus in Pisces sees only like one attractive thing about somebody, they'll build a whole image about the rest of the person's personality. So like, and that is going to be what attracts them. So, you know, what it is that makes them fantasize and build a whole image around you is how you attract them. So being a little bit mysterious in your approach or like, honestly, it could not even be something that you purposely do, but if they like hear like one attractive thing about you, for example, like why I say hearing, because the example I'm going to give is like, if like she meets you through like, let's say, being in like a Zoom call or something, and you're in like the call and she just hears your voice, and for whatever reason your voice resonates with her chart and her placements, and she finds it attractive, and like the way that you talked to her or addressed her, now she's like building a whole image about your whole personality, you know, and that's what attracted her. So like really having mystery is attractive to Venus and Pisces people, because they'll build a whole image themselves, and it's not something they consciously are attracted to, but that's just how it is. Like they're really open to all types of lovers as well, because Venus is very universal when it's in Pisces. Now, how Venus and Pisces will try to attract others and seduce others is by projecting an image, like projecting an ideal version of themselves. Sometimes they'll like put on like a real show in terms of how they present themselves or how they appear to themselves. Sometimes they'll even change themselves to be appealing to somebody they're attracted to. Venus in Pisces is very self-sacrificing, and Pisces is very adaptable. So when it comes to how they attract others, they're really adaptable. And when it comes to who they can be within a relationship, they can be a lot of things for people. Like, and they might change themselves in love, which can be a heavy and draining experience, because Pisces is all about self-sacrifice, and sometimes can be about being a victim and being taken advantage of. So it's never good to change yourself for somebody else. But Venus and Pisces, if they're attracted to somebody, they'll try to be that person's ideal, and they just have an intuitive sense of what attracts somebody. And generally speaking, Venus and Pisces are very attractive people naturally. Venus is exalted in this sign, and they have like idealistic looks. And a lot of people will tend to idealize their beauty or build a fantasy around this person that has Venus in Pisces. So, that being said, that is Venus through each of the signs, and how to seduce each of the Venus signs, and how they'll try to be attractive if they are seduced, or if they are trying to seduce someone else. So, I hope this was insightful and you guys enjoyed. I appreciate the support, and I appreciate you guys watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more content and to see your other placements when they come out. And I will talk to you guys sometime soon in another video. Peace.